Happy Monday, everybody. Let's kick this week's butt. All right, we got like 5 weeks of school left. Let's get through this chapter, and then we'll be ready to move on to 8th grade almost. It'll be awesome. But happy Monday, let's do this. All right, a quick review. This will be worksheet 9.3, lesson 9.3. We're going to start talking about functions more, and the first way we want to start talking about functions is what they look like on a graph. And so just a quick review of a function. Remember, a function is a set of inputs with a set of outputs. And I use the phrase over and over. Put something in, you get something out. You put something in, you get something out. And in math, that looks like I put a number in, I get a number out. In the real world, you put dirty clothes in a washing machine, you get clean clothes out of the washing machine. That is a function. All right, so what do they look like when you graph them out? Well, if you remember from Thursday, when we did a function, we used f of x, right? That's what we used. Well, it turns out you can just use a regular old y instead and have something that looks like y equals 2x plus 1. And what this allows us to do is then we can start talking about x and y. And on Friday, we were talking about graphing. So if you remember, when you're graphing, the up and down axis of a graph or a coordinate plane is the y-axis, and the right and left is the x-axis. I guess I don't need to write that twice. And so here we are. If we can get an x and a y, right? A coordinate point is an x and a y. We can start to draw these functions. And so what we have to do is we have to take our function, y equals 2x plus 1. We have to put in a bunch of numbers for x, just like we did on Thursday. We're going to get out a bunch of numbers. So we put a number in, we get a number out, and we can make those into points we can then put on a graph. So I have a list of x's I want to try, the first of which being -2. I'm going to quickly add an extra page here just so we can do our work. So I'm going to copy down our function, and that's y equals 2x plus 1. And we need to use x when it's -2, when it's -1, 0, 1, and 2. Those are the numbers we are going to try out. This might remind you, if I pull this up, on Thursday we did something that looked like, let me zoom out here, like this. Remember these tables that we filled out? That's essentially what we are doing, but now we're going to talk in terms of x and y's. So I'll put my y here. Let's put in -2. Remember, when we are putting things into a function, all we do is we get rid of the x with a set of parentheses, and then we can do a little math behind it. So now, let's see. Our first number is -2. So I say, all right, 2 times -2, that's -4, plus 1 is -3. Now I do it again, but with -1. I say, all right, 2 times -1 is -2, plus 1 is -1. Then I say, all right, we're doing it with 0. So 2 times 0 is 0. Plus 1 is 1. Now I'm doing it with 1. 2 times 1 is 2. Plus 1 is 3. And then finally, with the number 2, 2 times 2 is 4. Plus 1 is 5. And so we put a number in. We got a number out. And it turns out we got an x and a y. We chose our x's, we put in an x, we got out a y. And if we take each one of these, so I'm going to highlight them all in different colors. So here's our pink. Here is our blue. Here is the black. Here is green. And then we'll go red, sure. So we can make a point from each one of these. If we have pink, our x was -2. And when we put in a number, -2, we got out a -3. Our blue, we put in -1. What did we get out? We got out -1. Our black, we put in 0. What did we get out? We got out a +1. I'm starting to make the coordinate points. Green, I put in a 1. I got out a 3. And then finally red, I put in 2. I got out a 5. And we have 5 points we can put on a graph. And so from Friday, remember, the first number is always x. The second number is always y. So I'm going to grab the pink point. -2, 3. You start in the center. And you say, all right, I got to move you. It's got to go 2 to the left. 1, 2, -2, -3. So I'm going down. Y. 1, 2, 3. That's our first point. -2, -3. Our second point is in blue. -1, -1. So that would be left 1. If I can grab it here. Nope. Let's see. I know. So it'd be left 1, down 1. Awesome. Our black point is at 0, 1. So I still start in the center. And I say, all right, 0. So I'm going left and right 0. I'm going up 1. Awesome. Now let's see, our next point, green, is 1, 3. So my x is 1, my y is 3. So again, I'm starting in the middle. I say x is 1, y is 3. And then finally, in red, our x is 2, our y is 5. So we start in the center. We say, all right, I got 1, 2 to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up. If you look at our points, our nice colorful points, they are actually in a straight line. And if I wanted to connect them, I could connect them all, make sure they're going through all nicely through all of them. That should be almost perfect. It's a straight line. That is our function. We're talking about a straight line. A linear function is what it's called. Linear literally means line. That's it. We are taking our function. We're saying, all right, we're taking a number we put in, a number we put out, and we are making a point with it, and then we're going to draw a line. Let's do one more, so you've seen it at least twice, and then you can get to work trying it on your own. So this time, our function is, I'm actually going to change our function to something else. I'll still use a fraction, so you've seen a fraction. I'm going to say, all right, our function is y equals, we'll go 1/2 x minus 2. Sure. So I'm going to do all the work on another sheet of paper down here so that we've seen it. So I got to grab another one. Doop-doo-doo. Let me grab it. There we go. Awesome. I'm going to go right there. Awesome. So our function, again, is y equals 1/2 x minus 2. Y equals 1/2 x minus 2. The numbers we're going to try, we're just going to try the same numbers. So our x's are going to be, I suppose I could squeeze this in here. Nope, it's not going to do that. All right, that's fine. We'll just put it above. And then we're going to get out a y. So the x is -1, or -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. Again, here is our function. So we have 1/2 parenthesis minus 2. 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 Let's see what we get. All right, first off, we're using -2. So 1/2 times -2. I'm just taking half of -2. That's -1. Minus 2 is -3. And you could put these into your calculator. That is fine. Next up, 1/2 of -1. That is 1/2, or -1/2. And then I subtract 2, I get -2.5. If we use 0, 1/2 of 0 is 0. Minus 2 is -2. If we use 1, well, 1/2 of 1 is 1/2. Minus 2 is -1.5. And then finally, 1/2 when we're using 2. So 1/2 of times 2, or 1/2 of 2 is 1. 1 minus 2 is -1. And so we put all of these points in. We got all the y's out. So now let's make them into ordered pairs. My first pair would be -2x, -3y. My next one would be -1x, -2.5y. My next one would be 0, -2, 1, comma, -1.5. And then finally, when I put in 2, I got out -1. It's just like the table we did on Thursday. Now, however, I must graph them. So my first point, -2, -3. So I go to the center of my graph. I say, all right, x comes first. So I got to go 2 to the left, 1, 2, and down 3, 1, 2, 3. That's my first point. My second point, I'm left 1, down 2.5. So I start in the center. I go left 1, down 1, 2.5. My third point, I'm left and right 0. I'm down 2. So I'm staying right in the middle. I'm going 1, 2, down. My fourth point, I am right 1, down 1.5. So right 1, down 1.5. And you can already see the line starting to form. And then the last one, I'm right 2, down 1. So I'm 1, 2, 1. I got a nice little line going there. I can connect them all. Let me see if I can get this lined up a little better. Boom. That should basically be right on. Connect them as best you can. You can use a ruler if you want to, a straight edge. But if you're doing it on the iPad, you can just kind of move it nicely. That is what you're doing today. That's it. You're going to make a little table kind of like this. You're going to put in a number, put in an X, get out a Y, and then you're going to graph them. The worksheet looks like this. There are 8 of them. I want you to try 7 and 8. I will answer questions on Tuesday when I get back. But the other ones you should be able to do. So right here, if my X is 3, so I put 3 in here. 3 times 3 is 9. Minus 2 is 7. this would be my first point, 3, 7. So I'd go right 1, 2, 3, up 7, 1, 2, 5, 6, 7. Boom. Now I'd put in 2. So I'd say, all right, instead of x, I want a 2. 3 times 2 is 6. 6 minus 2 is 5. There's our second point, 2x. So I go right 2, 1, 2, up 5. And you can already start to kind of see the line. And then I'd have to do it a couple more times. Good luck. Come with questions on Tuesday. I will gladly help you out then. Adios.